Hey YouTube, it's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre, here with you once again. I am also back with Buffyxenaman, also known as Chris, and we are here to do part 3 of my horror collection. And this time we are going to be going back and forth between the two of us, showing off different movies from my collection. And I hope you all enjoy this, but first of all, I'd like to give a little shout out to, I think his name is LV Pepe 38. Since Robin or Karate Popcorn gave us that nice shout out, he's one of the ones who subscribed to us, and he's always leaving nice comments in our videos. So we wanted to give a little shout out to him. And so now we're going to get started with the video. And I think I'm going to let Chris start this time around.
Okay. I guess the first movie I'm going to show is Hide and Seek with Dakota Fanning and Robert De Niro.
Now, I thought this was a pretty good movie, in my opinion.
In my opinion, it sucked. I didn't find it really that scary or suspenseful. And I saw it once through, and I was like, okay, where's the alcohol? I'm a borderline alcoholic, I guess. But yeah, anyhow, it didn't appeal to me at all.
I liked it because for a while I was a big fan of Dakota Fanning. I mean, I've become kind of a bigger fan of her since stuff like The Runaways, and then, I mean, she's been in some of the Twilight movies, but it's mainly been like a bit part. But I guess in the Breaking Dawn movies, her part's supposed to be bigger. I haven't watched part 1 yet, and I did get invited to go to the theater and see part 2, but since I hadn't seen part 1 yet, I decided not to go, so, but yeah. Hide and Seek, this was one that I enjoyed. Him, not so much, so.
Dakota Fanning, I hate her. She reminds me of something that gets a cheese grater.
Her sister's worse.
Ugh. Moving on.
Well, you didn't know she had a sister, did you?
I kind of did. I saw a picture. I don't
yeah,
remember
Elle.
what it was like. I just remembered the
the one from Super 8.
Yeah, I had the factor from her.
And so first up, for me to show off, is 28 Days Later. Now, I got the glare off. Now, this was one of the newer zombie movies to feature the running zombies in the tradition of, like, the Dawn of the Dead remake. But I think this came first, and it's about a zombie outbreak in London, but it's not called, they're not called zombies, they're just called infected, because they're infected by this, like, rage virus from these monkeys or something like that. I remember Karate Popcorn doing a Zombie Friday review of this a couple weeks ago, and she did give it high praise, and of course I'm giving it high praise too because it's one I enjoyed, and it was scary for what it was, but zombie movies, I'm kind of in and out with them. I mean, I'm a true George Romero fan. I mean, I love his style of zombie movies, but I think 28 Days Later, they did a good job with what they tried to do, and they really did make a good movie.
I loved it. It was an awesome movie from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Although I remember, unlike a lot of horror movies, they showed like a full frontal of the male in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like not a lot of horror movies will do that.
Not a lot of movies do that, period.
I mean, for God's sakes, I don't know how many times you can see a woman running around with big tits going, help, help,
right.
help.
And then the traditional trip and fall.
Sorry. A stick.
Yeah, I tripped over a stick.
No, better yet. Oh no, a leaf. I tripped over a leaf and twisted my ankle.
Yeah.
Bitch, the zombie deserves to kill you then.
Yeah.
Okay, this next movie we're going to show is Soul Survivors. It has Elijah Dushku in it from Buffy the Vampire Slayer's Faith.
Didn't you give me that?
I think I did. I watched it like all the way through once. And I don't have a fucking clue what it was about.
That was one I liked, but I don't remember much about it either.
Let's see. It's apparently about a bloody card rack and hallucinations are starting, and I don't remember much of it. I don't remember how it ended.
It's been a long time since I watched it. I'd almost have to watch it again.
Yeah, I have to watch it again too. There's some like big stars in here. Like Luke Wilson's in here too.
Yeah, Wes Bentley from American Beauty.
Casey Affleck.
Yep, Ben Affleck's brother.
Well, Wes Bentley.
I mentioned him.
Melissa
Sage Miller.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it. I just remember I got it because it's like, ooh, Leslie Scoop. And plus it's in the $5 bin.
That was why I saw it too, was because of her.
Yeah, it's in the $5 bin.
Yeah.
So, I picked it up and watched it through. I thought, wow, not too bad of a movie, but I don't know what the fuck it's about.
That's one we're going to have to sit down and watch together sometime. Maybe we'll do a review of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm surprised it's one that nobody talks about.
We'll have to look. We'll have to do that, definitely.
Next up on my end is the sequel to 28 Days Later. This is 28 Weeks Later. Now, this one I don't remember much of because I only watched it once. But I think it picks up like a few months after what happens in 28 Days Later. And I think the army is coming to repopulate Britain, and then there's somebody who's coming back that's still got the virus. So the zombie outbreak begins all over again. And I guess there's supposed to be another sequel coming 28 months later. I haven't heard much about it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
I saw this all the way through once. I liked it. Although I can laugh at the titles.
I know.
28 days later, 28 months later.
28 weeks later, and then 28 months later.
I'm just randomly shouting.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What next? It's reportedly going to be 28 years later than 280 years later.
Who knows? I mean, if they're going to keep doing them, they're going to have to come up with something more inventive.
Yeah, it's like I love the movies, but at the same time, I found the titles so fucking funny.
Right.
It's like, okay, what do you say?
Right.
I know, I get the idea behind it. At the same time, it's just too fucking funny for like they keep going 28, 28, 28.
Right.
What next? 28 couple minutes later?
That would be odd.
Like I said, there's no real censor between these two.
Right. There's never any like censorship between our mind and our mouth. Whatever we think, it just comes out, as I'm sure some of you have seen from our videos.
99% of the time it comes out, and then 1% of the time I catch it.
Yeah.
It's like, there's times you just don't want to say something, but you do, and you're like, Chris.
And then you say it, and you want to stop yourself, and then it's like, boom.
My favorite part is like, you were stop, Biak? Oh crap,
Yeah.
Okay, next movie. Identity.
Oh, that's a good one.
I never saw it.
That is a really good one. It's got John Cusack, Rebecca De Mornay, Amanda Peet. It's about all these people who show up at this like motel in a storm, and there's a killer among them, and they all start dying. And it's got a really decent twist ending, but it's one you have to watch all the way through to really follow it. But it was one that I enjoyed. I found it in the $5 bin, and I just grabbed it and I saw it. It was one that I really enjoyed.
I had no comment about it because I never saw it. Maybe one of these days, with like hundreds of other movies, I have to watch.
It's one you'd have to watch. Yeah, it's really good.
So, moving on.
Now, next up for me, of course, is a true classic. It is the 1979 movie Alien. Now, I think everybody knows about this. We're introduced to Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, and her spaceship, the Nostromo, lands on this desolate planet, finds this alien ship, and it's loaded with these eggs. One of the crew members gets a thing stuck to their face, and of course, you don't... Yeah, you don't, but I know what you're getting at. But you don't expect what happens when the chest burster bursts out of his chest and the thing runs off. So basically from then on, you've got what they call Halloween on a spaceship, with one creature killing off all the crew members except for Ripley, who of course turns out to be the only survivor at the end, which leads us into the sequel, which I will talk about in a few minutes.
Yeah, what can I say? I have said about that movie already. I have the clamshell VHS of it. It was such a damn good movie. The ending is a really good ending.
It's a classic.
Where she's just signing off. It was like a perfect ending.
Yep.
Not a perfect ending, but, you know, Like, if Ripley was on the list of top 20 femme fatales, I think she was like right before Xena. But Xena's right ahead
It was
of her.
probably more for the second one.
She was like in the top 10.
No, I mean for being in terms of like...
Oh, for all the alien movies. Because it's Ripley, the character itself.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know her number, but I know she was... Xena beat her.
Wow.
Xena, oh yeah.
But what I was trying to get at is Ripley's at her most badass in the second one.
The Perfect Getaway.
That is an interesting movie.
Mila Jovovich, Steve Zane, Timothy Olyphant.
Oliphant. I don't know, it's a weird name.
Well, I guess it's people going a Perfect Getaway and not being perfect because I've never seen this one either.
There's these two couples, they're on a vacation in Hawaii, and they hear that there's this couple that's going around killing people. And, of course, one of the couples that they're with turns out to be the killers, and, of course, you don't know who it is until the end, but it's a good movie. It's worth a look.
It was me. I was with someone else and we killed those people. We were pissed off at hotel prices.
Yeah. Hotel prices!
Plus we couldn't find any virtual sacrifices in Volcano, so I figured it should be close enough.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. Next up for me is, of course, the classic sequel, 1986's Aliens. Now, this is probably my favorite in the series, and like I was saying earlier, this is Ripley at her most badass. She's protecting a little girl, and of course there's the big battle with the Queen at the end, and of course the famous line, "Get away from her, you bitch!" Which, I mean, that line, it's just classic. I mean, Ripley's in the power loader fighting the Queen. I mean, it's just an ultimate badass scene.
I remember that scene. I also remember watching that on Christmas Day one time.
You watched it on Christmas Day?
It was like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Why?
I don't know. Aliens was on. We were watching Aliens. And it's like, wow. It's like, Merry Christmas. We're watching Aliens. So it's like, that's like the fourth time I saw that movie. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love aliens. Alright. The Butterfly Effect.
Now that's one I like. One of the few movies with Ashton Kutcher that I can really stand.
I liked it. I have a love-hate relationship with it.
I kind of do too.
But although all the special features on it are interesting, like they're talking to fuck what they're called, physiologists or something like that.
Psychologists?
No, about people who study this stuff. They're talking to scientists. That's all I know.
Oh.
And they're talking about the butterfly effect and what it was. Example they gave was stepping on a butterfly and a hurricane happens in Japan.
Right.
But oh no, it was an okay movie. The ending I liked.
It's been a while since I watched it.
No, he just hung himself because he wasn't supposed to be born. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah, so he hung himself in the uterus, wherever babies go, and it was in an ultrasound or something like that. But he was hanging himself from the umbilical cord. But every time you try to change something worse happens.
Right. I do remember that.
So.
Because wasn't Ashton able to, like, go back in time or something like that?
Yeah, and, like, I don't know.
He was trying to save his girlfriend.
Right, I don't remember how he was able to, but he just didn't. They made a sequel I never saw.
They made 2 sequels, actually. Because both the sequels were a part of the, what was it? That, After Dark. The 8 films to die for that they do every year.
Right. I never saw it, but I might see it. I don't know.
I don't know. I saw the second one. I don't think I'm going to see the third one because I've heard a lot of negative about it. But the first one I really liked, but 2 and 3, I don't really care for. Like I said, I've never seen part 3. 2 kind of sucked, but the first one I did enjoy, and that's why it's in my collection.
Right.
And going on for me, I have another Alien movie here. It is AVP, Alien vs. Predator. This is the 2-disc unrated version, which of course I got from Buffyxenaman here. And I think this cut it's an extended version with 8 minutes not shown in theaters. I don't see how much extended that could be.
At the beginning, they cut out the scene where the predators were pumping hormones into the queen. To make her lay eggs. For the hunt thing. But that's one of the scenes they took out.
Okay. Yeah, because this has got the theatrical cut too.
Yes. But I love that movie. I don't care what people say about it.
I know, I liked it too.
I thought it stayed pretty true to the Predator and the Aliens.
It was better than Predators, I'll say that much.
I disagree, but anyhow. That movie, you can't hate. It's like you love it. It's like probably the ultimate show off. Two like supernatural creatures. One's a hunter, one's hunts.
Well, the only reason the AVP came along was because of Freddy vs. Jason. And how much money that made.
Actually, Predator 2. In the spaceship, there's an alien skull.
Right, but it wasn't supposed to lead into that.
And then that led to a comic book series after that movie. Then it's kind of based off the comic books. And fans demanded that there be a movie.
Right.
I don't know how long it took, but it started after Predator 2. Alright, next one.
Blood the Last Vampire. Now, this one's based on an anime, and they stayed pretty faithful to it. It's one that they did a good job with. The casting was okay. The gore is good. It's some good practical effects. You don't see much CGI in it, I don't think. I only watched it like one time because I was really into the anime, and then the series Blood Plus, which I never got to finish watching when I was really getting into.
I saw the first episode, so you got further along than I did.
I think I made it to like episode probably like 9 or 10 before Adult Swim quit showing it. But this is one, I would say it's worth a look.
It's a good movie. It's been way too long since I last saw it, but the anime was pretty good too.
Yeah.
This movie, I have to give it a watch because I haven't seen it in such a long time.
I would say if you like the anime version, then you're gonna like the live action one. Now I have one more Alien movie here. It is AVPR, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. This is the sequel to AVP, and this was actually the one that got to be rated R in the theaters. That's why it's called AVPR. And this one was actually more gory than the original.
It takes place right after the first one.
Yep.
Because the Predator got attacked by a face hugger.
Right.
And got like it's like alien Predator.
A Pred-Alien, they called it.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a good name. I'll call it Larry. Here, Larry!
Yeah, come here!
Don't kill me, Larry!
Yeah.
Don't tug Larry.
Yeah.
Look, that was a kick-ass movie.
Yes, it was.
And that got more hate.
Yep.
It's like, oh, come on. It's freaking awesome. They finally did what I wanted to see. Was an Alien Predator combo.
Yep.
And they did it.
They did.
It's like, yes. It's killing people.
Yep.
It's like, I love it. I don't know if they're going to make more, but...
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like... Predator was supposed to be like more another Predator movie, another Alien movie. Again, that's been rumored for like about 3 years now. But
Right.
hoping. This is hoping.
Okay, now hold on a second. Before we go on to this one, we have a little announcement to make. We were supposed to have a special guest tonight on the speakerphone, and he was supposed to call me back, but I guess because he was drinking tonight, he fell asleep, so... But Lil Craze 25, I know this is one of your favorite horror movies, so hold it up and show it off, Chris. It is the wrestler Kane in See No Evil. And this is the one where Kane is a killer, and he has this giant hook that he uses to kill these kids who are cleaning up this hotel he's hiding out in. And after he kills them, he plucks out their eyeballs, It's really cool, really gory. You know, Kane did a good job, I think. I mean, for a while I was a wrestling fan. I still kind of am, but not as much as I used to be. I'll watch it every once in a while, but it's not like a required must-watch anymore. But this movie I do still enjoy. I mean, I do enjoy a lot of the older WWE films, like a lot of the ones with The Rock. John Cena's movies were good.
I never saw it.
It's a good one. I mean, even if you don't like wrestling, which I know you don't.
Maybe one day I'll look into it.
It is one I would recommend.
Maybe one day I'll look into it. But now for
a personal favorite of yours, The Grudge. This features Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she is, I think, isn't she like a nurse or something like that?
Yeah, she's a house person, 60 years old lady in this house. And
I was gonna say, you could explain it better than I could.
this house is haunted by this woman and a child.
I know the woman makes this weird noise, and the boy meows like a cat. Yeah, that noise. Like that. And then the little boy meows like a cat.
Well, okay. Most people who saw this movie said it freaked the shell out of them.
It got me.
It did. Only one scene freaked the shell because it's hard to freak me out. That was in the attic. The lady went up there, look. Next thing you know, Blade's like, ah!
Yeah.
That place, I was drinking a milkshake too, and it's like, son of a bitch! That's my thing. I used to go to town, get movies, get McDonald's, come back.
Right.
I do like once a week, and you got that. But I got most of Sarah Michelle Gellar. And the house, she tried to burn down the house, but...
Right, but then the firemen put it out.
We saved the house. She's like, no!
Yeah. You're supposed to let it burn.
Ugh. Idiots. Oh, this is a movie I have seen. Vacancy.
That is a cool one.
Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale. Well, it was a good movie.
I thought it was pretty creepy for what it was and for what it tried to do.
Well, he got this. It was, that's like one of those, like once a week we used to watch a movie together.
Yep.
And this is like the movie we picked up to watch together. It was like me, you, and my ex.
Yep.
And we sat there and watched this movie. And
I remember because he wouldn't shut up through it.
Well, he won't let me tape his mouth shut. But yeah, it was a good movie. And they all got what they deserved.
Yep.
And they made a sequel.
Which I haven't seen yet.
Just don't.
The sequel's actually a prequel.
In their case, they should not really make sequels or prequels. Really, it's like this movie could stand alone.
Yes, it could.
There's some movies they should not really make sequels or prequels of. That's my thought, but...
Now, I think this one's another favorite of Chris's. It is The Grudge 2. And I think he can explain this one a little bit better than I can because I've only seen it once.
I've seen it once, too, and basically Sarah Michelle Gellar comes back, The Grudge comes back, and I think she dies in this one.
I was going to say, I think she dies, too, and then it goes on to her sister, who was the girl from Joan of Arcadia.
Right. And that's all I remember.
See, I don't remember much about it either. It's been a while since I watched it.
Okay, this is called Messenger.
Oh, that's a good one.
LD Messengers. Kristen Stewart.
Before she did Twilight.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said before she did Twilight.
I know, it's still Kristen Stewart.
So?
Moving on.
She's a good actress if you don't count the Twilight movies.
I didn't really care for her pre-Twilight.
Shoot, watch Panic Room.
I didn't care for that movie. It's like you got time to run down the hallway to get to a panic room, and somehow you manage to stop gas from killing you by putting a lighter down the thing, and kaboom, and you're safe. And you just happen to have a flame retardant blanket in the room with you. You see my problem?
I see your point. I just can't explain it myself.
It's like what? It's like What situation do you have to have a fireproof blanket?
It was a movie. It was just a movie I liked because of how outlandish it was.
Yep.
But The Messengers, that was just a really creepy one.
I think it's about this little boy who sees dead.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it.
It's like a ghost story. It's from the people behind The Grudge.
Right. But I haven't seen it yet.
That's another one I'd recommend you check out.
Right.
Okay, now next up.
This will hold up the other one.
Yeah. I have here the entire Leprechaun collection. Now, there has been a remake announced next year that WWE Films is behind, and they actually got their little midget Hornswoggle to play the Leprechaun. But I think that these ones here with Warwick Davis, who most of us know from Harry Potter as like Griphook the Goblin, and wasn't he Professor Flitwick?
I think so.
But this is also the other thing he's known for besides being an Ewok in Return of the Jedi and in the movie Willow. But this was actually the first thing I saw him in, and the first three in this series are my favorite. And when I watch these, I usually stop after part 3 because they just get worse after that.
Okay, Jennifer Aniston.
It was one of Jennifer Aniston's early appearances in the very first one.
And she won't talk about it. So she's embarrassed, like, horror fans love you for it.
Yeah.
But although, I like to have Leprechaun up to number 4, but in the Hood, Back to the Hood was just a little overkill.
Yes, it was.
For my liking.
I agree.
It's like, why? It's like, the Hood didn't get good. Why go Back to the Hood? And by the way, this was a direct-to-video thing.
I kind of figured that.
There was no real movie thing for it. It's like, horrible.
Right.
Anything good, but But the one thing is I noticed they changed they changed the Leprechaun mythology in each one.
Right.
First is the 4-leaf clover. Next is Iron.
Don't turn them off.
Iron, then they changed it. But first 4 I do like.
I like the first 3, and that's it.
And I gave that to him too.
Yeah.
He should be lucky. That cost me $20.
You're next.
Okay. This is a movie we saw in theaters years ago. Red Eye.
Yeah, we saw it when it came out.
Wes Craven. This is a funny story. I was going to school at the time, and the bus was running late. And I finally got there like about 6:30. I said hi, and then we're like, boom,
we're like, we gotta go.
We got out the door.
Yeah.
rush. And we went to the theater. I'm like, can I sit down now?
Yeah.
But we saw this movie.
I don't even think the theater was that crowded for that movie.
Medium. It's like not like with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's like packed.
Oh yeah.
Or with The Ring too, where it's like mini pack. That's a story for later.
That was like 10 people at that one, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, but this is a movie that kept you on your seat.
Yeah.
About this guy who's holding this girl hostage because of her father.
Yeah. Because it's an assassination plot to kill her father.
And he is keeping her. She's trying everything to escape. One of my favorite scenes I love is when she says, "I can remember the story," but she says, "He was like, you know, the point of the story was like, no." I said, "Never let it happen again." She stuck this pen and stabbed him in the throat with it.
Yeah.
And took off running. Everyone in the theater was like,
oh yeah.
I'm like,
even me.
I was like, ooh, awesome. But this is a movie I would recommend. Wes Craven did an awesome job with this one.
Yes, he did. I don't understand how this movie can get the hate it does.
I don't know. Wes Craven did a great job on it.
Yes, he did.
Like he does with usually all his movies, he does a great job.
Yeah.
This is something you have to check out.
Now we're getting into some of my vampire movies, and we're going to start off with one of my personal favorites. It is The Lost Boys. Now this movie is an absolute classic. An all-star cast including Kiefer Sutherland, the Coreys, let's see, you got Diane Wiest, let me see, Jamie Gertz, Jason Patrick. There's just a lot of good people in this movie, and it's like one of the in my opinion, it's one of the best R-rated vampire movies there is, and if you've never seen it, I would highly recommend you check it out.
Yeah, I think did I give this to you?
Yes.
Because I don't know. I accidentally got to this. I don't know how I got it. I got this movie. I watched it. Awesome was to this one. He comes over, like, oh no, you gotta do this one. I was like, I do?
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I was like, I just watched the first one.
I know, because I begged to have it.
In like 15 minutes, you got it later. You got it.
Yeah.
Well, not really 15 years, but whatever.
It was like 15 minutes.
By the way, I love you. Keep still learning. I love you.
He is a damn good actor. One of my favorites.
24, baby.
Not just 24. I mean, Stand By Me, Flatliners. He's been in so much good stuff.
The Hitcher. The remake of the classic.
Now, I don't understand why this movie gets a ton of hate. I mean, they did a good job with this.
I agree. But there's like minor switches they did. Like, I think they're in the original one, the girls tied behind the.
Yeah, it was the girl tied to the truck in the original, and then in this one, it's the guy because the girl's like the lead character that the Hitcher's after.
Yeah, that was an awesome ending.
Yes, it was.
She got finally so pissed off that bam.
Yeah.
And she just walks away.
Kicks out the back of the cop van grabs a shotgun, kicks the door open.
He goes up to the guy, and next thing you know...
Yeah, she's like... And the Hitcher goes, feels good, doesn't it? She goes, I don't feel a thing. Bam!
Yeah, she walks away. It's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people hate it, but...
I don't know either, I mean, the original's good, but... I mean, the remake, it's good for what it was, too. I don't see why it gets all the hate it does. Next up for me is another vampire classic. It is Interview with the Vampire. Now, this has got Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas, Christian Slater, and even an early performance from Kirsten Dunst, which got her an MTV award for, I think it was, Breakout Female Performance. And I think she did a really good job, but Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, they just make a phenomenal duo of vampires, and this is just one of my favorite vampire movies. It's one I've loved since the first time I saw it, and it's just one that I still love watching to this day.
I liked it. It was a good movie.
Yes, it was. I agree.
Those movies, you watch it over and over again.
Yeah.
Another remake, The Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds.
Now, I like this one better than the original.
I like them both.
This is also from the people who gave us the Hitcher remake, Texas Chainsaw, all those remakes that have been coming out lately. Michael Bay and his company, they're the ones behind this.
That's a good movie.
They did a good job.
It's like, it has deleted scenes and has a documentary about the house itself.
Yeah.
And I used to own the box set, and there's a bonus disc where it talks about the haunting, where they believed it was a fraud.
Right.
And a couple other things too, but I was like, it's a fraud. Is this why? It's really a reason why it's a fraud.
I was gonna say, you gave that box set to Mom and she sold it off.
I feel kind of hurt she did that.
She needed money and she never watched them. The only one she really liked was the original. She did keep that one, but then she sold that too.
Yep, it's a good one around Reynolds. Looks hot in it.
Yeah, he did a good job in there. He makes a decent psycho.
Didn't he do Blade?
Blade Trinity, yeah.
Right after this or before it?
Right after.
Okay, I can't remember, but yeah, he did Blade Trinity right after this. Good.
Next up, I have here the sequel to Interview with the Vampire. It is Queen of the Damned, and this has Stuart Townsend instead of Tom Cruise in the role of the Stat, and it's also got Aaliyah in her final performance before she died in a plane crash, and I think they had just finished this but when she died, but they had to have her brother go in and do some of her voice because I think they couldn't finish it because I don't even remember the whole story.
What I heard was this. They were like doing post-production or something.
Yeah.
And she died, and they had James Payton Smith do the body work, and they pasted Aaliyah's head on her. That's what I heard.
I heard that too.
That's what I heard. That's how Jane Pinkett Smith got some recognition, because she was the body double.
Right.
That's. But oh no, I didn't care for this movie.
I don't know. I really liked it. But then again, we both had friends that were into it.
It's like what pissed me off was this kingdom is being attacked by their king and queen and well, of course vampires, and they really going to just sit there and let them suck them dry.
Right.
It's like, oh come on. And then they get bored and turn into statues. It's like I don't. It's like what?
Why?
I don't get it. One, if my king and queen are trying to kill me, I would stab them.
Right.
I would take them. It's like
right.
Oh, that
go
was
Buffy on them.
Yes. Or I am Buffyxenaman.
There you go.
So like if they just didn't do that, if that wasn't in there, probably be a decent movie.
Right.
It's like I don't get some of the shit they put in there, and
right.
I don't know if I think they should have made that or not, but it's just that's really up in the air in debates.
Mm-hmm.
Without like the original cast,
right?
At least the original, the start. Does I say right?
Yeah, because Tom Cruise didn't want to come back.
Right.
He was already too big a star. He didn't want to return to the role. That's why they got Stuart Townsend.
Maybe him and Brad Pitt had a homosexual affair.
That was one of the rumors I heard.
Pictures, baby. Next is Black Christmas.
Yep, this is the remake. It's got a lot of good people in it.
Michelle Trachtenberg from Buffy.
Yeah. Let's see.
Lacey Chabert.
Chabert,
Katie Cassidy. That's all I see. Mary Elizabeth.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead from Final Destination 3. Then you got the lady that played Miss Luton in the first Final Destination.
Yes. This movie, I have to say, overall, I liked it, but there's some parts that creeped the shit out of me.
It was way different from the trailers we saw on TV. I can say that.
I can say that too. Plus, the incest scene.
Yes.
She wanted to have a baby, and her new they locked his son in the attic after they killed the father.
Yeah.
Who loved him, and the mother hated him.
Right.
And he was this is the thing that creeped me out, though. He's rocking back and forth. You hear, She steps right in front of him and drops her robe, whatever she was wearing.
Right.
Has sex with him, and she's pregnant with his child.
Right.
And the drunk thinks it's his. And it was good, but yet creepy. It got this creepy moments.
Right.
There's a couple of moments. Like when the daughter got killed by the paddles.
Yeah.
It's like, really? I killed her?
Right.
And I still wonder how that Christmas tree killed the guy.
Or the icicle.
Yes. I'm still wondering, the Christmas tree thing bugs me more.
Right.
Push the button next to him. Huh? Is that a plastic tree or a really sharp top on the tree?
Right.
It just confused me.
It was confusing.
But then my part is, when Michelle Trachtenberg died, I'm like, haha, Dawn, that's for being in Pitch Train Season 6.
Yeah.
And 7.
Yeah.
It's sad I think that way.
Next up for me is one that is considered probably a modern classic now. It is The Ring. Now, I do have a funny story about this. I rented it on VHS when it first came out, ended up watching it by myself, and as soon as I finished it, just like in the movie, the phone rang. Scared the hell out of me. I pick it up and it's one of my friends. I'm like, oh my god, thank god it's you. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I just watched this movie. I thought I was gonna die.
I watched that movie, and a couple times I've thought, what if I call someone and say, you got 7 days?
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought was gonna happen to me.
I should have done it to you. See what would happen.
Because we didn't have caller ID at that point, and I'm like, oh no.
Great. The girl from the champ tape was nothing better than the Call Me Talkie.
Yeah.
House of Wax.
Oh, very good one.
It has,
Alicia Cuthbert, Chad Michael Murray, Paris Hilton, Jared Padalecki.
Sam from Supernatural.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a Yeah, it was a good remake. And my favorite part was when the bitch got it.
Paris Hilton, yep. Bites the dust.
I like the brother and sister made out live. And it was a good movie.
I hated that Jared Padalecki had to die.
You can see him supernatural now. He still his hair goes out of control.
Really?
Out of control. Now you're thinking, thank God you died in the House of Wax. But anyhow, that's my problem with him at the moment. Cut your hair, you son of a bitch. Anyhow.
Well, he still had that decent, like, supernatural cut, like, down to the back of his neck for the Friday the 13th remake.
Yeah, but now he's like, go.
No, I gotta see some of the new episodes to decide if he looks right or not.
Okay, it's like, cut your hair or I will.
Yeah, cut it the way you used to have it.
Yep. Back to the movie. See, this is what I tell you. No censors.
No censorship.
No censorship. It's like going to like a symbol from the
The FCC.
FCC go or beep beep.
Yeah.
They're gonna get like carpal tunnel after dealing with me.
They probably would after dealing with us at one point.
Yep.
Okay, and here we have The Ring 2. Now, we saw this in the theater, and there was only like probably
a dozen or so
10
people.
to a dozen people there, including us.
We got our good seats where we usually watch Harry Potter at.
Yeah.
And that's like probably the second movie actually we saw together.
Yeah, it was.
We went through. We're talking today. It's like, The Ring 2's here, and I want to see Ring 2. You want to go see it? It's like, yeah, let's go. A funny story is that's also nice about Electra.
Yep.
Because it came out a day early, and I got it. But yeah, we watched it. I was like, this is a good movie, and this is one scene at the end. Where
Oh yeah, then the reaction in the theater.
she's going to push the well shut, and
You hear her go, "Mommy!" She goes, "I'm not your fucking mommy."
you hear, whoa, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa. Oh, please me, everyone. Tons of people had reactions.
Yeah.
Like, that was so funny.
Yep.
It was like the funniest thing I've ever heard. Then
I'd never heard a reaction like that in the theater in my life.
well, I think for Mr. and Mrs. Smith had like a lot of big laughter during most scenes.
I think The Ring 2 is the only horror movie I've been to in this town.
Almost scream.
That was in Roscommon.
13 Ghosts.
Now this is also a remake.
I nearly saw all the way through.
It's a pretty good one.
It can't hold my interest really for that long.
Well, short as it is, it's only like an hour and a half.
Well, I guess it's about 13 Ghosts.
Yep. It's about this guy who has this house and is powered by these ghosts. And he's trying to build this machine that it's like wielding the power of these ghosts and keeping them trapped in this house. But the ghosts get out and of course start killing people, and it turns out that the crazy uncle who died faked his death and wants to kill the rest of his family.
Oh, I'm thinking, they showed this sci-fi, there's like this book you're reading out of.
Yeah.
And it had like depictions of each ghost.
Yep, and passages to stop them.
And they talk about the 13th ghost being the safety mode thing.
Yep.
That's the only part I really saw.
Yeah, the 13th ghost was the one that could stop it.
But that's the only part I really saw. They showed us sci-fi, that's what I saw. But
Right.
the movie I was watching before had that, I wanted to see was the Mothman movie.
Oh, the Mothman prophecies?
No. It's a sci-fi made original Mothman movie.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool, but they killed yeah. The ending was awesome, but
Right.
that's not here or there at the moment.
The next up for me, this is one I like, and I may get some shit for this because it does get a lot of hate. It is House of the Dead. This is based on the video game, but you don't see much to do with the video game except for a little bit of footage from it. But it's got Jonathan Cherry from Final Destination 2. You see a later performance from Ellie Cornell from Halloween 4 and 5. This was also produced by her production company, as a matter of fact. and it was one of her ideas to do the movie. And it's one directed by Uwe Boll, who gets a lot of hate for a lot of his movies, but this was actually one I liked. I thought he did an okay job with it. And it's one of the zombie movies that I think is really interesting for what it tried to do. It tried to be a little bit different and make it a little more interesting, and I think they did an okay job with it.
I never saw it, so.
It's one you gotta check out.
I almost haven't seen this movie either yet. Sorority Row.
Good one. Good one.
I guess it's about sorority.
It's a remake of The House on Sorority Row.
So, you watched it?
I watched it once, but what happens is this girl, and I think you'll like who the girl is that gets killed, Audrina from The Hills.
Ugh.
They kill her in this prank, right? And about a year later, they get this like text message or something like that, and somebody knows what these girls have done and is killing them one by one.
Sounds like the plot to Pretty Little Liars.
Kind of.
Which I don't see how that show's still growing.
I don't know. I think they're getting ready to end it because they're starting to reveal everything.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how many seasons have been on, but it's like over 3 seasons now.
I think they're on like the 4th.
It's like, how can they make more seasons out of that one plot?
Right.
It's like it couldn't take that long to figure, oh, she's alive.
Right.
Oh, you're a whore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, your turn.
And now I have the sequel to House of the Dead. It is House of the Dead 2. This one has Emmanuel Vaugier, who some of you may remember from Saw 2. I don't remember much about this one because I've only seen it once or twice, but it's basically a zombie outbreak on a college campus, and this was made for the Sci-Fi Channel, and what they did, they did bring back Ellie Cornell. I think this was once again done by her production company, and it's also got Sid Haig in it from House of a Thousand Corpses. There's really not much I remember except for like some of the zombie stuff, but for what they tried to do, it was an interesting approach, but I think the first one was better.
Okay, a remake of April Fool's Day. We watched this together.
Why this movie is in my collection, I don't know.
Because I gave it to you.
That's probably why, and probably because Scout Taylor Compton's in it, and I do happen to like her.
Yeah, it's an interesting sequel, but remake. But at the same time, you kind of knew how it was going to end.
Right. And with me having never seen the original,
I own the original and I watched it. That was a pretty good damn good movie, but this, yeah.
This one just sucked.
Not really the best in the world.
No.
They want to trade off, I guess. Or something, I don't know.
I'm sure if somebody would like this, we could arrange a trade for it. Just send us a PM and maybe we can work something out.
It's an unrated version, so
yeah.
Watched only once.
I'll say it's still in pretty much mint condition. Next up here, I have a little bit of a series because it's not complete, but I have, first of all, it is Child's Play 2. Now, this is probably one of my favorites in the Child's Play series because it's the first time Chucky comes back and he's going after Andy Barkley once again, and Andy's been adopted by this family and they have like a teenage girl that they adopted who kind of takes Andy under her wing. And I like the end of it where it takes place in the toy factory and there's this maze of good guy dolls, and there's a scene where Chucky has to have a knife for a hand. But all in all, this was a pretty cool sequel for what they did with it. It's one that I really enjoyed.
I just remember that teacher scene.
Oh yeah.
You've been bet. What's that?
You've been very naughty, Miss Kettlewell.
And then walks out with a yardstick and
beats her to death with it.
And every time she struck, the camera...
Yeah, the camera kept pulling back.
Although, I question is, why didn't the air kill her instantly? He stabbed her with it and pushed air to her.
I don't know.
That's the only thing that really blows me. It's like air in the body kills you
right
shortly.
Right.
Unless it's slowly killing her, unless he's beating her to death.
Right?
But the trailer for that one.
Oh yeah, where he steps on the Jack in the Box.
Sorry, Jack.
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
Yep.
Let me tell you, that's what's all going down. There should be a show.
Fear. Mark Wahlberg,
All right.
Reese Witherspoon,
Oh, yeah.
and it has Melissa Milano, and Senior William Pearson, Grissom from CSI,
Yeah.
and Amy
Favorite topic.
Berman.
Going on.
Brenneman
Brenneman.
from Judging Amy.
Yep.
And before we get into this movie, I'd like to send a little something to Pandora 3100 because I know she wants to see this movie. My copy of this will be coming to you as soon as I get some money to send it, but it is still in pretty good condition, so it should play well for you. But we hope you enjoy it because we know you've been wanting to see it. But I figure since I don't watch it very much and you've been wanting to see it, I'll just pass it on to you.
Yep. No, it's just a basic story about relationship gone bad,
Obsessive boyfriend.
and finally one night just goes over there, takes the family hostage.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it is.
Oh yeah, most of it's just nuts.
Yeah, that's all it really is.
Now here I have another Chucky movie. This was my favorite for a long time. It is The Bride of Chucky. This was the first one that had Jennifer Tilly in it in the role of Tiffany, who was Chucky's girlfriend before he died. And the cool thing is, you see her both as a human, and then she gets turned into a doll. And of course, they go on a killing spree. They get married, and of course, there's a twist at the end, which I won't reveal because there was another sequel, which I will get to in a minute. But I think Bride of Chucky was probably, like I said, it was my favorite for a long time, and this was the movie that really developed my crush on Jennifer Tilly.
Don't forget the beginning. Freddy Glove, Jason
Oh,
mask,
yeah.
Michael Meyer mask.
And the Leatherface chainsaw.
Oh yeah, they were. It was like they were on the evidence locker, which I don't understand. Really, isn't that copyright infringement?
I don't know.
Because they're.
I mean, all them things are copyright. I don't know how they could have done that, unless it was just like replicas or something like that.
It could have been. It's like it's still pretty cool to see. At the same time, what do you want to steal down for? You're just seeing all this awesome things
Right,
there.
right,
It's like good stuff like that.
right.
Look, I am the Nightmare Leatherface Michael Freddy Jason Killer.
Yeah.
Okay, the second names. Now we have the Toolbox Murders.
It's a remake from Tobe Hooper. And it's got Angela Bettis from the Carrie remake, Juliet Landau, who played Drusilla in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I love her. Yeah, I saw it once. I thought it was good.
I liked it too. It was one that I got told about by a friend of mine, and then when I found it in the $5 bin, I had to pick it up.
Mine, right?
Pretty much. Not for the last Chucky movie in my collection. It is Seed of Chucky. Now, this movie does get quite a bit of hate, but once again, Jennifer Tilly returns. She's playing herself and playing Tiffany, and she's kind of playing a spoof of herself because she's made out to be a bit more slutty and bitchy than she actually is in real life. Because, as I'm sure you've seen in a lot of interviews, she's a nice person in real life, but the director who also created the series wanted to make her like an exaggeration of what she really is. And of course, Chucky ends up having a kid in this one, and there's just a lot of shit that goes on in this one that sometimes it's hard to explain because you can't really figure it out. But it's one of them. It was just a different approach. I liked it, even though it gets a lot of hate.
I liked it too. Just a few things stick out of my head. The first painting, they pull out his pants, see if it's a boy or girl.
Yep.
They're like, oh, what are you supposed to be? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the one with Tiffany is trying to not be a killer anymore.
Yep.
And she has this book about 10 steps to forgiveness, and she just goes, no, buying hot power, no.
Yeah.
Make amends. She calls the widow of the cop she killed.
In Bride of Chucky, yes.
It says, I killed your husband.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. I killed your husband. I'm very sorry. And she goes, I know. It feels good. Then there's a masturbation scene.
Yeah.
He finds Fangoria and masturbates to it. And then
What the hell am I supposed to do with this?
the turkey baster scene.
Yeah.
Then there's a couple, like one other scene that was like when she killed Redman. She stabbed him. His guts spell out.
Yeah.
It's for the best, honey. She says and walks away. I'm like,
The scene I laugh at that pisses you off is when he kills Brittany.
yeah.
Flips off Chucky. Son of a bitch! For it!
Yeah. But I read, reviews. I read one review saying Andy was the luckiest person in this movie series because he's been ran out.
Yep.
It's like, that's not that bad of a movie, critic.
Right.
It's like, I don't know how they judge these movies. If they're like, no.
I would say it by like audience response and then what the critics think, because some critics give them positive, some give negative, some are neutral. It all depends on the critic pretty much.
I think they should be neutral and watch a movie and make up their and
Right.
judge it.
Form their own opinion.
It's like a lot of horror movies, Chris, and you're like, it sucks already.
Right.
It's just an opening trailer.
Right.
The Fog.
Yeah, this is the remake. I've never been able to find the original, but I've recently heard that Scream Factory is putting out a new release of the original Fog, and I hope I can get it sometime to add to my collection, because I do like that movie. And the remake, it was okay for what it was, but it wasn't one that I could watch like over and over. I could watch it like once in a while, but I love the original, but I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. This is one that had the ghosts of the Marines in it.
They were lepers.
And they come for the girl?
Yes.
Why?
The girl they come for was like the lead leper's lover or something like that.
Okay, I know lots of scenes, but that's not it.
And it ends with her turning into a ghost and going with him. So spoiler alert.
But yeah, that's all. That's not too bad of a movie.
That wasn't too bad. I don't see all the hate that one gets either.
There's a bittersweet ending, I can tell you that.
Right.
It stars Tom Welling too.
And Selma Blair.
Yeah, Tom Welling, Selma Blair, and Maggie Grace from Team
From Lost.
Yeah. And Rupert Wainwright, Stigmata.
Yeah, he's the director.
Yeah, but
They did an okay job with that, I thought.
yeah.
Next up, I have one of my favorites since it came out. It is Urban Legend. Now, this is one that was inspired by Scream, because it was when Scream was really big and all these slashers were coming out, like Scream 1 and 2, I Know What You Did Last Summer, stuff like that. This came out around the time of those, and it's about a killer on a college campus that's killing these kids based on urban legends. And the killer's going after the lead girl because of a reason that you find out at the end with a huge plot twist. And it's a really interesting way that they did it. And it's got a really good cast, including Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars, Alicia Witt, Rebecca Gayheart, Joshua Jackson, Loretta Devine from Waiting to Exhale, Tara Reid from American Pie, and of course the great Robert Englund. I mean, if you have Robert Englund in a movie, you can't go wrong.
That's also a movie I have not seen in a long while, but
It's one I haven't watched in a while either.
last time I saw it was on ABC Family's 13 Nights of Halloween.
I'm surprised they would even show it.
Oh, very edited, I can tell you that.
Well, I believe it.
And I just remember seeing where she's pissed, the girl stabs her. It's like, oops, I missed.
Right.
When a stranger calls.
This is also another remake, but I thought this one was pretty cool.
Never saw it.
It's a pretty interesting one. They took the first 15 minutes of the original and stretched it out into like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Basically, the 15 minutes of the original is where she's babysitting and she's getting the harassing phone calls and all that. But that's basically what this whole movie is.
We're seeing urban legend.
Huh?
The urban legend.
Yeah.
Like, beeps there left the house.
Yeah.
Kids left baby.
That's basically what it is. Next up for me, get kind of comfortable here, I have Lake Placid. Now, this is one that I got into when it first came out. It's about a giant crocodile in a lake in Maine, and it's killing people and like animals and stuff like that. And there's an old lady played by the great Betty White. She's been feeding people and animals to this giant crocodile. And she has some of the most funny lines in this movie. Like, when she's talking to the cop, she goes, "If I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it." And then there's another one, when the cops are leaving, she goes, "Thank you very much, Officer Fuckmeat." But this movie's got Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt's in here. Brendan Gleeson, as a matter of fact, Mad-Eye Moody from the Harry Potter movies. And it's also directed by Steve Miner, who directed Friday the 13th 2 and 3. And there was a few more he directed, like H2O. There's some other ones I just can't remember right now, but I'll let Chris go on to his next one.
I forgot. Never saw it. Never appealed to me.
I have this one, but I've never watched it either. I actually swiped it from somebody because they left it at my house. But I've never had the chance to really watch it,
well,
even though I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Didn't they owe you money anyhow?
Yeah.
Fair trade, I guess. But
Yeah, the people owed me money, so I took it.
But yeah, the plot never appealed to me. I don't give a shit about children. Plots probably around children, especially if they go missing. It's like
well, it's like with The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, that plot, after like an hour, it's like, so there is a point.
Right.
I only had to waste an hour of my life to get to the damn point.
Next up, I have probably one of the all-time horror classics. It is Steven Spielberg and Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist. Now, let me just say that if you have a fear of clowns, do not watch this movie.
Or trees.
Yes, or trees, or like, there's a scene in the swimming pool where that was being dug, and the mother ends up in the swimming pool, right? And all these skeletons start coming up out of it. Well, there's a funny story behind that. The actress thought they were plastic skeletons, but only after they did the scene, they told her they were real.
They were real dead bodies. She was in the pool for like 3 days with the bodies.
Yeah.
And they found it cheaper to buy bodies. I don't know where from, but skeletons or bodies.
Probably from like a morgue or something.
Probably overseas.
Right?
So they could use it for movies, horror movies like this, and from that, they believe the movies were cursed.
Yeah, because a lot of people that worked on these movies ended up dying.
Yeah.
The oldest daughter was murdered.
Right after the movie premiered.
Yeah, because she was getting ready to start working on V.
Yeah, and her boyfriend beat her.
Boyfriend strangled her.
No, her boyfriend killed her, and see here. Well, India Chief died.
Yeah, from part 2. The really creepy villain guy, he died.
Yes.
Carol Ann, of course, she died during the making of part 3.
Actually, after.
Yeah, like right after they finished it, wasn't it?
Like a week after, she had like a something with the.
She had a bowel obstruction.
And that killed her.
Yeah.
During surgery.
Right.
She was like about 14 or something like that.
No, she was like 11 or 12.
That's close. But the latest one to die was Tangia.
Yeah.
She died not too long ago. She died of complications of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Right?
She's a good actress. And she's really into gay rights.
I think the guy who played, what was his name? He was, the father's boss. The one when shit's hitting the fan, he's screaming at me, "Move the cemetery," but he left the bodies. I think he died too.
I think he did too. Then a producer and a couple producers died too.
Yep.
train us.
You know what? If you
But yeah.
say to me, you need to say it to my face.
Moving on to another good movie I've seen a while. I've seen was good. The Strangers.
Oh, this was a good movie. This one I heard about from my bro, Lil Craze 25, and it was one he turned me on to, and I just loved it. I watched it with my mom. My mom was like, never again. She will not watch this movie with me again, and I don't know why.
I'll watch it again. I like it again, but it's supposed to be based on a true story.
It's actually a remake.
But it's supposed to be based on a true story.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen the remake, but it's supposed to be based on a true story.
This is actually the remake, but there was a French movie that was called Them that this movie is based on.
I know, but it's supposed to be based on a true story.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
I know that.
It said that, but you can't really believe that because the last time they said based on a true story, it turned out to be bitter bullshit.
Right.
Hollywood, do not do that. If it's not based on a true story, don't say it's based on a true story.
Right.
Don't lie to us.
Right. Don't lead the fans on, pretty much, is what we're saying.
What movie was that? They did that, huh? It's based on a true story.
Blair Witch Project.
No, but more recently.
More recently, I would say Paranormal Activity.
No, it's based on many true stories. But there's like a movie that like say based on a true story, and it was not based on a true story.
Right?
It's like they just said to get the people come in and say, "Oh, don't you lie to me again."
Now, next one. This is one that I don't know if I could really recommend it, but it's hard candy. This is another one that I heard about from Lil Craze 25, and I saw a bit of it on one of Bravo's Scary Movie Moment shows, and they actually showed the scene where Ellen Page here is castrating this guy because the guy raped and murdered her best friend, and they actually show her castrating him, and if you're a guy watching this, you just think, ooh. It's just like it's a really hard movie to watch. I mean, it's very rare that I watch it because of that scene, because it just scares me, and I really don't know what else to say about this movie.
Flatliners.
Oh, good movie. Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon.
It's basically about medical students experimenting with death.
Yep.
And things go wrong from there. That's what it's about.
Well, yeah, because they all start seeing weird shit.
Yes. What else are you expecting? Yeah, when you experiment with death.
Right.
When I experiment with death, next thing you know, I've seen my rat tar with a gun. Saying, "Ooh, that ball. Ooh, that ball."
Right.
He's saying in French. He's a hood rat. Anyhow, I love this movie. I saw it recently. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Something I would recommend for anyone who wants to either horror movies or just needs some fresh ones.
Yep, or like even a decent thriller. The next up for me, it's another title with Kiefer Sutherland. It is Mirrors. This is the unrated version, and it is pretty gory. I do remember one scene in particular. It's the scene where Amy Smart's in the bathtub, and the image in the mirror starts ripping off her jaw, and it happens to her while she's in the bathtub. I just remember that scene being like really graphic and really brutal. I was like, whoa. This is one that is in my collection, but I don't know if I could watch it again, even though I probably would try to watch it again and give it another chance, but it's one of them that I don't know if I could really handle it.
Oh, that's a good movie. I can handle it. It doesn't scare me. It's just like, oh, Kiefer Sutherland.
As much as I like Kiefer Sutherland, it's just creepy.
Okay, here's another good movie.
Oh, yes.
The Craft.
Very good movie.
That's basically about 4 friends who are witches.
Yep. It's got a pre-scream Nev Campbell.
Yeah, it's... Well, there's like... Well, I don't know how to really explain it other than... The new girl comes down, makes these 3 girls, and they practice witchcraft, and
Yep.
the one gothic one gets power.
Yeah, the one who's kind of the leader.
Yeah, she turns evil, and the other 2 girls,
They kind of follow her.
yep, and she gets powers at the end,
Yep.
and turns. She keeps her powers, but I think takes hers and she gets it. Right? How that work?
No, the leader ended up in a mental institution
Yeah,
and lost her powers.
Right.
And then the other two lost their powers too, because at the end of it, they came to the one girl's house and they asked her if she still had powers. And as the girls turn around to walk away, you hear Nev Campbell's character go, "She probably doesn't have any powers anyway." She turns around and the wind starts blowing, and then a tree branch falls in front of the two girls, and she goes, "Be careful. You don't want to end up like Nancy." Then that's when they show the lead girl in the mental institution.
Did she get all her powers?
No. She still had her powers.
Huh. It's been too long since I've watched that one.
My mom was watching that not that long ago. I finished it in her room one night because she fell asleep watching it. Next up for me, it's one based on a video game. It is Silent Hill. Now I know there's a sequel to this. I just haven't seen it yet because it's still in theaters. But this movie I found genuinely creepy. I mean, Rhoda Mitchell did a good job. So did Sean Bean. This is one where it had like some weird plot twists and a lot of cool stuff from the games. But it was kind of long. But even though it was a long movie, it was still pretty interesting. And it's one that I actually wouldn't mind checking out again.
The Covenant. The male version of The Craft.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, I knew you were thinking it. It's basically about these four friends who go to school in New England.
Yeah.
Are warlocks.
Yeah, they're called the Sons of Ipswich.
Yeah,
They're from like a long family of witches and warlocks.
And then just like they gather together and they talk about there's sensing something, and like there's like a fifth member of that covenant that got like vanished a long time ago, comes back to town. And
he tries to kill them and take all their powers.
And yeah, he's like more powerful than all of them together, but they have this time called Ascension.
Yep.
Or when they turn 18 or 17.
I think it's 18.
You know, when they turn 18, they get their full power.
Yep.
And they ascend. Well, like two of them haven't ascended, and one has. One's about to. The main guy is about to ascend. And
I would have to watch that one again.
And the side effect is they age faster.
Right.
Like this father. His father is 41, but he looks like he's 90.
Right.
And they get more powerful if...
And then he like in a wheelchair and everything?
He's in a chair. He doesn't move anymore.
Right.
He's very weak, and they get more powerful from Ascension, but their families or someone else, witch or warlock, really should have power to them. They grow in power too.
Huh. That's
what happened. Like that guy did that, and his father, he ascended. Then moments later, his father gave his powers to him.
Oh wow! I would have to watch it again.
Yeah, and he died after that, but.
Now, next up for me, this is also an American remake. It's Quarantine. Now, most of you know that this is a remake of the movie Wreck, but it's got Jennifer Carpenter in it. Let's see, Jay Hernandez is in here. I think those are the only people I know. Yeah, those are the only people I know in here. But it's kind of a zombie movie, but instead of like real zombies, it's like a rabies outbreak. But it's pretty cool for what they tried to do with the whole found footage thing. And they kind of took a page from the Blair Witch Project, doing the whole, like I said, they do the whole found footage thing. But I think they did this one in a better way. But as you can see, right here on the cover is the ending. And so that kind of just gives away the whole movie.
People are stupid.
I know.
Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, that's a classic.
What is this good? It's like the other zombie movies, but the zombies,
they talk.
Zombie eat brains. Why zombie eat brains? Zombie eat brains because they're good. I always wanted to zombie that, but
I watched that with one of our buddies.
I watched this like 5 years ago.
I watched it with Matt. Because we rented that one in part 2 on VHS when I was staying with him one time.
I watched it like 5 years ago and I liked it. It's like a rip-off of The Living Dead.
It's supposed to be like a spoof.
Right, but it's not.
Like Night of the Living Dead was supposed to have really happened.
Right, but yeah, this is just. It's a good movie.
So it's a really fun movie for being a zombie movie.
That's correct.
Now the last one in my stack is P2. Now this has let's see, Rachel Nichols and Wes Bentley. It's basically a man versus a woman in a parking garage, and this woman can't get her car to start on Christmas Eve, and the security guard comes along and offers to help, and of course they can't get the car started, so he invites her to share a Christmas dinner with them, but she refuses, and of course it makes him snap and try to kill her, and the only way she's going to survive is to escape from this garage. But this is from the people behind High Tension and the remake of The Hills Have Eyes, and I thought this movie was really cool for what it was. They did a really cool job with this.
One of my favorite ones is Dracula 2000. It gets a lot of hate, but I thought it was a damn good movie.
I liked it.
Basically, they find a coffin, Dracula's in there, and
It's basically a retelling of the Dracula legend.
right, but Dracula is Judas.
Yeah.
Hung himself and became Dracula, and wow. And one guy's been using Dracula's blood
Yeah.
to keep him all alive, and then his daughter, he had a daughter
Yeah.
who inherited the power of Dracula, but was human.
Most fans might note that this is also one of the first appearances of Gerard Butler, long before 300.
Yep. Vitamin C's in it.
Yep.
I don't remember. I don't remember her being in this, but
She's the lead girl's best friend. Because she gets turned into a vampire.
Right.
See, I'm done with my stack.
Last but not least is an awesome horror movie. He can stand up to Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers all at once.
Yeah.
Phantasm.
The tall man himself.
Awesome movie.
Boy.
You do not go to hell. You come to me. They use that line in like almost every movie.
Yeah.
I love
I'd
it.
like to get the rest of these movies to complete the collection so I can actually watch them all.
I'd like to see part 4, actually. I would love to see that. I want to see that. I haven't seen it yet.
I saw part 2 when I was a kid, but I don't remember it.
Well, it's just basically takes off where this movie ended.
I know.
And he goes to the same spot for like 10 years.
Right.
Or something like that. Comes back. His aunt and cousin are making dinner, so the house explodes.
Right.
His tall man's making it explode.
Right.
And that's pretty much. Then they go looking for this girl, and well,
Like I said, it's been years since I've seen it.
but yeah, one of my favorite weapons is the spheres.
Those spheres are cool.
Well, one of my favorite scenes ever is when the tall man's chasing that kid throughout the mausoleum, through the funeral home, through the back, and he slams the door on his fingers.
When he chops his fingers off with the knife.
Yep. I understand why he left the knife behind. He should not go, oh, finger. He
Right.
should have kept holding it, and then midgets start attacking him.
Right.
I remember, like, he gets out the window. It's like, at the same time thinking, why didn't you come more prepared?
Right.
It's like, plus this funeral home is like middle of the cemetery.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny, he's running this midget, and suddenly midget gets out. It's like, where the fuck are these midgets at?
Yeah. It's like, where are they coming from? Where are they going?
Where's my tea?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not tea. I'll get those from the World War II Daleks.
Yeah, there we go.
That's funny. Tea. Would you like some tea?
Yeah.
I can't do a dog. I probably shouldn't, but it's like, thank you. Thank you, sir.
So is that it for everything?
Well, if they're invisible, yes.
Oh, okay, I guess. Yeah, I don't have anything else either. Well, that was part 3 of my horror collection. I do have some on VHS that I will show off in a later part. I guess this is it for us. Sorry about that, everyone. We were trying to do our outro because we finished here and we ran out of room on the chip.
Irony.
But, very ironic. But as we were going to say, once again, this is Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre. Chilling with Buffyxenaman, also known as Chris.
Peace.
We're telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, and enjoy that Starburst.
And the chicken. Don't forget the chicken.
And don't forget the potato chips, and we will catch you later.